For the biggest question is who's going to win the Super Bowl today?
Oof. Hate put myself out there, but Kansas City. I like their defense. It's funny, I got a radio show the other day. Stoney. So he's like, you're a knowledgeable football guy, and I was so proud of his comment, which I'm not. But I like Kansas City's defense, and my daughter, she's into the whole Taylor Swift angle, so we'll be watching today.
Aren't you supposed to root against them though?
She's torn. She's been up and down. It's funny. We went to the Toledo Walleye game over break, and she wanted to be the Taylor Swift sweet goer of the Toledo Walleye game. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if we'll draw the same attention, but we had some fun with it.
Do they still remember you in Toledo?
Here and there, but that's funny. I laughed with Steve the other day. He laughed about going to the game. He's like, you didn't win them a championship. They'll forget. And I go, yeah, they moved on from me. Dan Watson's done a pretty good job there, and Pat Makish absolutely killing it there right now. So it's a machine. It's pretty cool.
You guys coming out of the break, and how important is it to get off to like a winning start?
Huge. Just the way the schedule is playing out. You don't get points in that game. You're looking at Edmonton. You're looking at Vancouver. Calgary is playing as good as anyone in the league right now. Seattle is a team we have not had much success with that's fighting for the playoff lives. Like, this is one of those stretches in the schedule we knew was going to be heavy, and it's going to be heavy. And we're going to scratch and claw for everything we can get, but it was very important to get those 2 points last night.
You talked about yesterday about the believability in these third period comebacks. Have you also seen some of that on the road in January with the big wins that you got?
Of course. I think our emphasis of just defending a little bit better, of keeping ourselves in those games. We kept ourselves in the Florida game, found a way in overtime. Kept ourselves in the Carolina game. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to the finish line. They scored in the power play, 7-8 minutes left. It'll be a goal of ours again in Edmonton, in Vancouver. Just these road trips. You got to battle just to hang in there. You got to be at your very best. That's playing the top teams in the league on the road. It's a huge challenge. So that'll be our goal going forward.
When you were putting together the Cop Fisher Rasmussen line, how much of are you torn at all between, you got three guys who are kind of all similar-ish player types versus sometimes you like to do the balance on a line?
You should be in our coach's room because we battle all the time. And why I say that is that all three of those guys we've moved around to help other lines because they're north, they forecheck, they're a little bit heavier. And we don't have some of that throughout our lineup. We've moved Joe Valeno around in this similar fashion. We've had him in our top 6 quite often. Same with those type of players. So it's just we have that feel sometimes of England, like, this line could use Rass or this line could use Fish. You might see that, but that line's been so productive and predictable. It's just been hard to break up. So, it's like anything else. It's working. Let's not try to fix it, but I think we'll keep evolving in time here. We're just on a 10-2-2 stretch right here, but it's still going to be a work in progress.
Do you coach a guy like Kane or Perron a little differently than a guy like Rass or Valeno? Some guy just coming up. I mean, is there a difference there?
Yeah, I think some players is different, period. You want to play a little more of a north-south lines type game. Other guys are going to give a little bit of freedom. And, you mentioned those two in particular. They're very unique in that they still do a really good job of playing within team structure and still playing to their strengths. So that's always a tough balance in this league.
Probably got a lot of that in Tampa, I would think.
Ton of that in Tampa. Yeah. And we never actually got over the hump, if you will, if we didn't kind of meet some of those type of stars in between where you're going to coach them. We want guys to play within structure, but certain players have to be who they are too.
How does that work with respect to sort of the overall identity of the team while still allowing guys like that to express their game?
Just keep stressing the team stuff. If they get too far out of that structure, then you got to reel them in. It's part of coaching. It's part of our job as a coaching staff to do.
A guy like Sprong, you talked about it the other day, it's like we have 10, 12 minutes a night. We still have this production. is there any talk of getting him more ice time, or is it just the way it is right now?
I think so, and I think we've done that. There's games he's had 15, 16 minutes. Last night, he didn't start on the power play, first 2 power plays. And he might have been looking at a 7-8 minute night, but Razor goes down. All of a sudden, he gets a couple shifts in our top 6. He's on the power play. He puts one in the back of the net. So I think we're very fortunate to have a player like that. I also think there's a reason he's battled this his entire career. He's up a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes more than he was last year on a playoff team with similar production. So I think that's a credit to him that he's earned and warranted more, and it's a work in progress.
You mentioned Razor, no after effects with Razor.
Nope, he seemed good. He had a good practice today, obviously, scary hit.
Thanks.
Thank you.